July 8th, coming up on a special edition of The View. People who say they've seen ghosts and touched the great beyond are giving you the view of the other side. The director of the Office of Paranormal Investigations has the science behind the spirit world that just may change your mind. All that, hot topics, and more coming up on Season 11 of The View.
To a special edition of The View that's all about ghosts and spirits and what's on the other side. So I guess the biggest question and the realest question I should ask you right now is, do you believe, do you think that it's...
Do you? You believe in ghosts, angels, and what else?
I believe that there's more to the world than this.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So
do you believe...
if they call it a ghost, okay. I mean, I've seen things that I can't explain. I live in a old farmhouse, and sometimes there are things just right here, and you think, what was that? And then we say, no, it's nothing, because you don't want to think, uh-oh. Well, because we see it on TV, and every time somebody shows up through the wall on TV, they're about to kill you, they're trying to snatch some stuff from you. So yeah, I believe
Do you believe that, like, your old Uncle Jerome's gonna come back and talk to you?
Yes, yeah.
You know, like, whoopee.
I don't know.
You know what?
Do you believe that?
You know what? Yeah, I want to believe it.
Right.
I want to believe that if someone is there and they want to talk to me, that they will. I mean, it's why ghosts work. Still
think ghosts are the stuff of campfire stories and Oscar-winning Whoopi Goldberg movies, while the director of the Office of Paranormal Investigations has some info that may get skeptics into the spirit. Please welcome parapsychologist Loyd Auerbach. Welcome, Loyd.
Thank you.
So, you're doing this for a long time. Is there scientific evidence that ghosts exist? You know, we've seen the heat sensors and
Right.
we've heard the readings, but in terms of scientific backing, what do you have for
There's
us?
certainly evidence for it. There's no proof per se, but there's evidence for people having these experiences, for the experiences being real in the real world.
So just the evidence is in the experience.
That's
it's not
correct.
in something tangible.
Now,
that we
all
can
the
touch.
technology really it's not designed to detect ghosts. We don't know what we're trying to detect because
Okay.
we're trying to, in this case, we're trying to detect the human mind after it's dead.
Are most people believers or skeptics?
Well, most people, according to all the polls, it ranges from anywhere about 38% to 65% who believe in ghosts, but a lot more people believe in the afterlife, in some form of the afterlife.
Why do some people come back as ghosts and others don't? What's the common denominator?
Well, there's no real common denominator except that generally people have some psychological or emotional need not to let go. Maybe they love their family, they want to stick
Doesn't
around.
everybody have a psychological need not to let go?
We don't know what happens at that moment of death other than the near-death experiences. There may be something pulling people on the other side. We actually think, in my field, we think that there's something in addition to the person's desire to stay, that there may be some environmental factors that allow that to even happen.
Okay.
The Earth's magnetic field's been connected to psychic experience quite a bit, and it seems to be connected quite a bit to some of these ghostly experiences, too.
Are there some
scientific explanation for it, right?
It's a connection. It's definitely a connection. That's why all the technology is being used, is to look for those environmental things that cannot be explained, that connect to the person's experience. But we found over the years, last 20 years, for example, that high magnetic fields can cause people to hallucinate. And low-frequency sound can cause people to have experiences, too. So
what about areas in the United States? Are there some areas that are have more experiences like this than others?
Well, there shouldn't be more places that are reporting it. Certain cities that are older. I mean, New York has a lot more because it's older than, for example, San Francisco, which is where I come from. So,
makes sense.
What if the writer of Ghosts, Whoopi's movie, he used one of your books as research for that movie.
Right.
And in the end, Patrick Swayze, when he went into that light, he became very glowy and transparent. Now, you don't feel that that's how you actually look.
well, people don't report that. What people report is seeing figures that look very three-dimensional and solid to people.
Oh, they don't look wispy and wavy and...
Once in a while, but most of the reports, and most people see their friends or relatives just once before they, they move on. So
Well,
most
James
experiences.
Van Prague, who we saw before, said that people are thin. They don't eat in the afterlife, so they're skinny.
We can look better after death, yes.
Just something to look forward to.
Something to look forward to.
So when you tell people that you're the director of the Office of Paranormal Investigations, do they look at you and go, come on, dude?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes, but they only have to talk to me for a couple of minutes and see that I have at least common sense about this.
Right.
What have you seen?
What have I seen?
Yeah.
I have seen phenomena, physical phenomena, things moving around. I've experienced what I feel is some presence, in other words, a ghost or someone kind of walking through me.
Do you feel like that James Van Praagh said that this is something anybody can develop, or do you have special...
I don't have anything special. It's being around this phenomenon for a long time. It really, anyone can learn to be psychic. And we're talking about being psychic. We're not just talking about seeing the dead.
You're psychic.
Everybody's psychic. But I'm not a psychic.
I want people to understand, too, that you didn't actually... You started off as not a believer, necessarily, in this whole thing, too.
I went to school for parapsychology, the study of psychic phenomena. John F. Kennedy University, which is in Northern California.
What made you...
Just really TV shows and comic books got me interested as a kid.
Okay. Now, when you say everybody is psychic, we're all psychic, what does that mean?
It means we all pick up information beyond our normal senses, what James would call intuition. Right. Yeah. We pick up information through a different channel, through the mind actually picking up information directly.
What the president talks about is his gut feelings. Is that what you mean?
That's one of the things that's been studied, yes, your instinct. But there's more than that. I mean, there are studies such as remote viewing. The government had a remote viewing project for 20 years and got incredibly good information from some of the folks that they trained. It's all part of the same continuum.
So do you think that Ben Praagh is onto something when he can talk to the dead, or is he making it all up?
Well, we can all talk to the dead. It's about hearing them back.
Well, whatever it is, he says that, you know, Heath Ledger came to him. Do you believe Heath Ledger came to him? And why him? Why not his press agent?
Well,
I mean, I don't get it.
In the movie Ghost, Sam's character, you know, Patrick, I know it's a movie, but it's basically, the whole idea is that you wander around finding somebody who can see you or who can experience you. I mean, not everybody can.
Maybe he did go to other people and they just didn't notice.
That could be, Elizabeth.
He could have came to you. You don't believe.
I asked him if George Carlin would come to him, and he said no, because George Carlin wasn't a believer. So you have to be a believer or open to it in order to even appear to James Van Praagh.
Well, you may get surprised after death, too.
So what surprised? Have you had one memorable experience that...
I have, well, kind of a turnaround experience for me. It was one of my cases back in 1985, which was a family that had been seeing a ghost for a year and a half. They had moved into this older house. They assumed it was the one who used to live there.
They all saw, they all saw the same?
This older woman, but they weren't talking to each other until about a year and a half into this, when their 12-year-old son said he'd been talking to the ghost every day. And he was able to provide some good information. And we kind of sat around, and after the talk with him, after he and the ghost supposedly took us around the house, we sat around in a circle like this. There's an empty chair, the ghost is there, and the boy is talking to the ghost. And we got information we verified, we're only able to verify with her only living relative, which we got, and the information for that we got from this kid as well. Her only living relative was 92 in an arrest home, and the owner of the house, the mother, was trying to get a hold of this guy, but was blocked by his attorney throughout the entire process.
So you think that the dead do come back and talk to us?
I don't know about coming back, but certainly they certainly stick around.
That the dead, you feel that the dead do talk to us.
Well, and we're thinking about not being dead. The body's dead, but it's still consciousness, still the mind after death. It's the spirit.
I think Einstein called it energy.
Right, and it is a form of energy in some way. It's what is consciousness.
We're going to channel a commercial right now, Lloyd, but we are glad that you are here. We like to hear about the scientific areas as well. Our thanks to Loyd Auerbach. We will be right back. Don't go away. We're going to spook you some more.
As you can see, we're still talking about it. So whether you believe or you don't believe, it certainly is fascinating. And there's one thing that I do believe. You have to take a little time to enjoy the view.
Don't miss this summer's biggest splash, Wipeout, tonight at 8, 7 Central, only on ABC.